So I would say there are two of them. What we are trying to do as a fashion business industry, um, we are helping not only brands. So we are aware, Renee, that we are um, the second industry which has the most impact for the ambient, for the environmental issues. So what we are trying is to really make people aware that the consumption we are having for the fashion, clothing and footwear, it's gonna be hard for the environment. So what we are helping brands as well is to develop their business models in order to be more sustainable. And so the first one is sustainability. We are really trying very hard in order to find what we could make better in the whole process for an entrepreneur and for a fashion brand. So imagine this, Renee. We do have, like, for example, clothes. And we import clothes actually from Asia. So we have cloth, and then we take to somewhere else to just like confection it. And that would be the second part of the process. And then we take it somewhere else to just like send it to everywhere. And then we have, for example, all the resources which are spent in retail. What about like all the stores and for example, I'm very close to the entrepreneurs in the e-commerce part. And what about also the packaging? And what about all the labels that like the clothing have? But it's not just that, really. What is also like important is we as consumers, we can do a lot like to help fashion brands to grow without being fast fashion brands. I don't know if you understand the difference between fast fashion and slow fashion, but the difference is perhaps a piece of clothing, which is slow fashion, is more durable. Well, local consumption is something that we could also like do and promote. We would like to have less quantity but more quality of things. So as the first trend, I think it's very important for us to understand what all this COVID and pandemic space brought us. So it was like reassuring that we should be more conscious as brands, as persons, and as entrepreneurs. So in the fashion industry, we're really taking care, and we are willing to change. So what we are doing, for example, we also have an event quite soon, and what we are having is a panel, a discussion table, where we are just talking about this. So this is how to be more sustainable brands. The second thing will be, we are starting to nest at home. We call it a nest because we are really finding out what we have at home, what we do not have at home, what we need, who are we willing to be, like in this next stage or next few years. So we are understanding what and how we want to keep living for the next couple of months. So what will be really interesting is just to find that all about our home is what we are starting to buy. So furniture and comfortable clothing. For example, when was the last time you used high heels? Actually, there's a curious thing. The day before yesterday, I use high heels because we had the first event here in Guadalajara that is called Intermoda here in Expo. And so now I can't I can't walk anymore because my feet are so hurt, because I've had like 4 months without using shoes, right? So we have like, I don't know how many shoes we have in our closets, but we do not use them anymore. So we are starting to find out what we are really needing and not willing to socially use and wear. So that's the second important trend. But we are also being a lot in the camera. So what about accessories? What about using colors and earrings and like beautiful like blouses, right? What about like makeup, for example? So all the beauty industry is also growing because we can see everything through the camera, right? So that's another trend as well. So the first one is sustainability, the second one nesting, and the third one just like, let's call it virtual presence, right? And virtual beauty, if you want to call it like that.
Right, good point about that. But how about innovation? Do you see any shift in how the fashion industry is leveraging on innovation now? Yeah.
So there are a lot of things, Renee, and I think it also comes from the trends for consumption. So what we found out was the first thing, fashion businesses needed to transform digitally. So they're all needing digital tools in order to sell, because we had like the stores closed for a lot of time. So the first thing is the digital transformation. That's the key one. A lot of brands wanted to collaborate as well. So they are starting a lot of collaborations. So that's another thing, another way to innovate, like through alliances. And that's a very important thing for an industry which is mainly working all by themselves. So that's the other thing, alliances. And the third thing will be they had to be resilient, and in order of that, they a lot of them transformed during this pandemic era. So what they started doing were a lot of medical supplies. So they started providing medical supplies, and they are actually growing. So the ones who really got into this field, they have a lot of opportunity right now, and not just here but abroad as well. So there are 3 things that they had to change, and in the first one, I think the main, so yesterday, for example, I spoke to one of our speakers from Falabella, and what he said, Laura, we all think this was about the digital transformation, but what we didn't notice is that it was about a cultural transformation. So, Renee, I don't know how it's over there, but here I think the main barrier for digital transformation were the founders of the companies, the ones who led the companies, because they were so happy with what they're selling and how much they were selling, so they did not have to occupy their time and their effort and their money in an e-commerce platform, for example, or in these digital tools. And then now the head of e-commerce of the main companies in Mexico, and I think all over the world, were like, well, how much do you need, and what do you need to really save our company, right? So then they do have resources right now, but like the head of e-commerce was like, what? And suddenly, and I don't have a team, for example. So we are also needing for more people who have these skills, and that is our main, one of our main challenges as an industry, and I think yeah, as a country, right? So we're facing a real era of innovations,